What's up, y'all? This is Brian Mazik, aka Franchise Play. What's up, y'all? This is Brian Mazik, aka Franchise Play, and I'm multitasking big time here. I am showing you a little bit of a tutorial on how to do the most accurate face scan in NBA 2K15 for MyCareer and MyGM. I got this on a little time lapse type of thing because it's not that long of a process if you're actually sitting and doing it, but it's all long if somebody's giving you a tutorial. Essentially, the most important thing doing the face scan is lighting. Natural light is best, but if your setup doesn't really allow you to have natural lighting, then what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to get as much light in your house, around your television, around your system as you can get to get the best option. So light in your face, behind you, on the side of you, all of that, a pretty equal balance of light is the best way to do this. Also, if you're using the PlayStation 4 camera, only the lens on the left of the camera is taking the actual pictures. So that's where you want to focus your attention, and you want to rotate your head slowly, but keeping your eyes on that left lens. If you look up at the top of the screen, you'll see where it says reference points collected. Now that can vary depending on a lot of things. Your lighting is primarily the biggest thing. You want to get at the very least, like 3,000 reference points collected. The more you get, the better render it's going to be. So I remember when I was in Nevada, California, to 2K headquarters, we got like 5,000. I got like 5,800, and I thought that render was spot on. But there was a ton of natural light in that room, and I really couldn't generate the same amount of natural light in my own house. So I had to settle for somewhere around 3,400 was the best I did. One thing you gotta know is that if you do this, first of all, you'll see this screen here, and it might look like your game is like stalled, but it hasn't. It's still working. Nothing's moving in the background here, but this screen looks like it's stuck, but it's not. It's gonna do that, but it's gonna pop in. It's gonna tell you the scan quality. Now you'll notice my guy looks like he has been doused with some bleach. But I don't know, I can't really speak for somebody who will do this face scan that's Caucasian, but as an African American, you're probably gonna have to adjust the skin color, which for me, it's not really that, I don't think that's that big of a deal. The features and stuff is the most important thing, right? So I like this particular render. This is the one I'm going to use for MyCareer. Brian Mazik has been launched. MK99, we may see him later, but as of right now, this is what we're going to do. So I think it came out pretty decent. Not quite as good as the one that, in California, but I know why. It's because of the lighting. So this is something that you guys gotta know if you're gonna do this, because this could potentially be frustrating for people. Because if you can't get the right lighting, if you're not getting the right distance when you're trying to scan, you're probably gonna have to do this more than once. I would advise you probably try to do it once or twice, or maybe 3 or 4 times, even if it works from the beginning, just so you can get the best one possible. Because if you really think about this, you're about to go through an entire MyCareer with this. You might do MyGM with it. You're about to invest a lot of time playing the game with this character. So take the time to make sure that it's right. That's the way I look at it. But I do wish that it was more accurate on the first try. But nonetheless, look, I really think that if you give it a few times, you'll be able to get something that you're happy with. I'm happy with the one that I have, so I'm cool. So now that brings me to this. Now, as you're looking on the screen, you're seeing that after I got my render done, now I can still do face sculpting. And face sculpting in NBA 2K15 is the most expansive create a player option feature set that the series has ever had. You can pretty much make just about anybody. Even once you make your own face, you can do just about whatever you want to do with it. It's pretty dope, to be honest. It's pretty dope. I'm happy with this. So I'm changing it up, just trying to make it look just that little extra tweak more like me. The more I look at it, the more I'm feeling like, yeah, Franchise is coming. Franchise is coming. Watch out. He coming. I ain't even told y'all what position I'm gonna play yet. I ain't even shared it. And Malik Knight, you know, MK99 was a point guard, shooting guard. But we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. But for right now, I'm gonna stay in tutorial mode. I'm not gonna go into my full MyCareer mode yet. I'm not gonna do it yet because I probably got some new people here, and they like really want to figure out just how exactly to do this. So the face scan, man, is like I said, it's very much worth your time if you take the time to do it. So somebody watching this tutorial is probably a little frustrated because they've tried it a few times and it didn't work out exactly how they wanted it to. And I'm telling you, keep doing it, get it right. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel you though. I got a little frustrated too. But the more I did it, every time I did it, I felt like it got a little bit more accurate. I probably could have done it a couple more times and got it even more accurate because you see it's a little bit discoloration there on the side of the face. But part of that is I think because I had to use the light to get my face to show up the right way, and that light kind of created that shadow area there on the side of the head. But like I said, in my opinion, is not bad at all. I'm pleased with the way it came out. What I'm gonna do is go into something a little bit after this, because in the title of this particular video it says face scan creator, creating a face scan character for MyCareer, which is what we doing here, and it also says the non-face scan player creator. So that's something that I was getting some questions on Ask FP. People were like, well, what if I don't have a PlayStation 4 camera, or what if I don't have an Xbox Connect camera? Can I still play MyCareer? Because, I can understand somebody asking that question, because pretty much all of the information and all of the talking and everything about it has been about the face scanning. So yes, you can actually play MyCareer if you don't have the camera, and you can just use the regular creative player option, which is much better than it ever was before. So let's get into that. I'm going to show you some of the options that we have here. There's a lot of options this year, and it's not just about changing the face. Once you get into the part where you're adding the attributes and that kind of stuff, man, you're going to see. And so if you're creating somebody, like somebody else asked, like, can you do face scan for like my league, my GM? No, you can only do the regular creative player, which is what I have on the screen right now for that. So let's take this guy here. My objective right now is to show you just how much different you can just completely change a guy. So you see how this guy looks right now, and you can just get a glimpse as I do this time-lapse sequence here to show you just how much you can change. And each one of these options here on the left side of the screen opens up a menu that gives you a whole plethora of options and things like that to change. By the time I get through with this guy, you're not even going to remember what this guy looked like, which I think just speaks to just how good you can make this look, or how many different variations you can get. The one thing I didn't particularly like though in terms of the creative player part is, even no matter what you do to weight, the guy never changes. He doesn't get real big or anything like that. So that's a little bit of a bummer. So you guys will probably, if you haven't read my review yet, you'll probably see me make some reference to that, even though I'm gonna admit, that's not like a deal breaker or nothing like that for me. But these are some of the shoes. I'm gonna actually do a video called All Shoes, so you guys will be able to see the shoes as well. But just take a look at some of these options. Some of this stuff is new in terms of attributes. Yes, here's another question that I was asked. Can you have home and away accessory sets and that sort of thing? I did not think you could do that, because I didn't actually remember seeing it. But then again, I don't think we went into it in community team up. But as I went in here to create a player for the purpose of this video, I was seeing, I'm like, man, you can actually do that. And a lot of people were asking. So I'm assuming that 2K must have gotten a lot of requests to be able to do that. And to be honest, y'all, I would have never thought about that. Never. But, I think it's dope that it's put in there. But once you get to these attributes, defensive IQ, pass IQ, a lot of stuff going into just the thought process of the way players play on the floor, which to me personally, once you see the gameplay for 2K, you'll see that things are tighter. Guys seem to play more human-like, and which is a good thing, because we all know in 2K14 there were some situations where, especially if you were playing on one of the higher difficulty levels, guys did not miss. If they had any type of opening, these guys did not miss, and they very rarely made bad passes, any of that. In 2K15, it's far more humanity in the game, in the whole experience. So that's definitely a good thing. But like I said, I'm showing you this to just show you just how much can be changed here, even if you don't use the face scan. All right, so we're gonna speed it up a little bit, but the signature moves and all of those options are pretty much all the same. There are a few more jump shot motions that are available. There's actually a lot more dribbling, because you remember, I don't know if you guys remember back in 2K14 when you were picking your dribbling moves or whatever for your created character or your MyPlayer guy, you were pretty much restricted to about, I think, 6 to 8 dribble moves, like so 6 to 8 spins, 6 to 8 crossovers, 6 to 8 hesitations, all of that. It's about at least 17 variations, at the very least 17 variations of each dribble move, which I think is impressive. You see it almost immediately when you're playing the game, so that's excellent. Dunks, a lot more. There's too many more new dunks that I saw as I flipped through the ability to change the dunk package for the player. You're going to see a little bit of that coming up. Tons of them. So one thing I realized too is, from a whole collision detection standpoint, this game actually did make some strides for sure. It didn't only make strides from last year. It made strides from the build that I played a few weeks ago back in Nevada, California. I was a little bit worried because I saw looks like a little bit of a lack there in collision detection, but I have seen so far in this game none of those issues. And you can see some of the new dunks there, which are pretty cool, even though he's dunking in the room by himself, so it's a little disturbing, but it is what it is. It's really actually going to be fun creating the guys that I don't have or that are not in the game for the My League thing that I'm going to do a little bit later on. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I mean, man, a lot of times we hate to, kind of say it, but the 2K team really pushes. They really push the envelope very much so. Last year's game had a little bit of, some hiccups here and there. Once a really heavy load of gamers are on and really testing the servers, that's when we'll find out for sure how strong 2K15 is in that respect. It was mentioned to us that the company really felt comfortable with their game this year, with the servers this year. So hopefully all of those situations will be done, because I can tell you right now, the creation suite, the only thing this is missing is a create a team option. But aside from that, you will be hard pressed to find a better creation suite. And that's why we can't wait. It's MyCareer time in this next episode, and y'all buckle up, because it's gonna be a really bumpy journey. Thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for more NBA 2K15 videos tonight, throughout the week, and all of that there. Peace.